So yeah, let's just get into it. I had the time to finish my renders in the meantime, so they're all done. I took the 7 hour to render them because although I got a better PC than last time, the model is much more complex than last time. You can still see that there's some like bad sampling in some areas. It won't be seen, but it's just to say that like yeah, rendering with Keyshot can be very expensive in time, basically time consuming. Braxton Knight, hey Marco, you too. Matt, hey Marco, hope everything is okay and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It was not an easy. Well, vacations were nice. The week after was not easy, but got through it, so that's good. It's all good. Um, yep. Anyways, so ah, bonsoir, Marco. Ça va bien? Oui, ça va bien, ça va bien. J'espère que ça va bien toi aussi. All right. I'm actually like going on vacation again soon. We have like double vacations booked back to back. So I said after the spider I was going to take a break. Well, it actually happens that it's going to be while I'm in vacation mostly. So look, that fits well, and I'll figure out what I do when I come back. So okay, yeah. So renders, I got 5 or 6 renders like this. So the Keyshot renders. I did a few renders in ZBrush, the same way I showed in my last stream. Pretty high resolution. Like this is the full resolution. Characters floating a little bit. Oh no, it's just a nail that's floating. That's right. And also I have rendered my turntable. So if you go in a raw, no, not raw, sequence, pick the first frame, image sequence open. Boom. There we go. Let's open the timeline. We have our model here. So that's cool. So now what do we do with this? Well, we're gonna have to do some composites and stuff. Pretty simple. Alfio. Hey, always incredible. Well, thank you. So what I'm going to do is simply to take a scene that existed before, and I'm just going to apply any changes that needs to be done. And I'll explain what those things are, of course. Mantis. Let's take the mantis. Renders. Where's the turntable? Wait. No, I think I know where it is. Is it this one? Turn. These are my raw files. Oh, are we gonna have to find the file? Oh, insectoid turn. There we go. There we go. All right, so that's one. Now, the question is also, because I remember like doing a like the minimum format for videos, but I also need like a 16:9 for my website. That's the Chaos Masons website. That's my website's a little bit slower. I have to figure out how to make it faster. It's not catastrophically slow, but it's it could be better. Okay. So you see, like my videos on my website are 16:9, so we're going to be rendering two versions of the video. Okay, all right. I've got a bunch of like frames prepared. We're going to remove every frame, every VFX thing. Well, the FX is just like a color change. Okay, and these are all the folders for each of the characters. Oh, a spider. I know I rendered at the same resolution, so I can just grab my video, the video group here, slap it here. There we go. Does the character look centered? Actually, that's something I can calculate easily. From one side of the circle to the other side. Yeah, okay, it's technically perfectly centered to the podium. Cool, all right. So those are the fixes for post-process. What did I put in there? A curve, a level layer, and a color balance to bring more red and yellow to the mids and high. Yeah. And blue and cyan to the shadows. It's like a little trick I use all the time. Okay, all right. There we go. Hello, la team. Hey, 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 Skander Sculpt. Okay, and then we have 3 formats of rendering. So there's going to be the 16:9, and this one is like square, and this one is 4:5. So it seems like 4:5 actually is good. So I'm going to be rendering one 4:5 and one full resolution. Oh wait, forgot to check something on my website again. Give me a sec. Okay, it does have its title. Okay, all right. Frame spider 45 is for 4:5. And this one is going to be frame spider 169 for 16:9. And I just have to change the name at the bottom here. So this one is the spider. So now how are we going to write spider so that it fits with all the other names? So it's going to be SP1 SP1-DR. There we go, spider. The one doesn't even look like a one. All good. SP1DR. All right, so next thing for the other frame. SP1DR. Okay, so we got both of our frames done. We're gonna take a sec and we're going to render them. So file, export, render video. My frame window is already at the 180th frame. So work area 0 to 175. Region color, H264, high quality, full document size. Let's take a second and render this video. We're taking our time, Of course, the more layer you have, the more it takes to render because every layer has to be like merged. But rendering at this level of quality is like the best that Photoshop can do. It's not perfect. It introduces, what's the name for it again? Gradient polarization. I don't remember the exact name. It's when like you're in the dark tones, maybe like sometimes like a gradient will start to like be choppy. Kind of sucks, but it's not gonna happen in this video because there's a lot of noise everywhere. So there we go. We got our seamless turntable. This video encoder makes it lag on the last frame, but like on anything else, it won't lag. All right, and now we're gonna render this. So to render this, I'm just gonna use one of my masks, invert it, and crop the entire thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to render faster. I can just remove all of the folder I don't need. Export, render. Call it folder 45. Render. Yeah, you see how much faster it is. All right. There you go. Yeah, I just have a little doubt. I'm just going to check that the last frame and the first frame are not exactly the same. No, they're not the same. Okay. See? My first and last frame are different, so we're all good on that front. We're not going to save. There we go. So this video is good. So now we have our two versions of the insectoid, 6x9 and 4x5. I'm going to bring in here. Boom. So that's one thing done. We're done with the turntables. So next I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to finish with the Keyshot render. Okay, we don't need the timeline anymore. For one, we're going to open a reference folder. I need to try rendering with Photoshop. Yeah, I mean, it has its uses. All right, so the whole frame thing is the thing that's going to suck the most balls. It's a pretty tedious, but going through the layers is not that bad. So we got like an overlay layer. This is just for the face, just to highlight the face, because my renders are top down. And it introduces a lot of like shadow, but sometimes like in the face you don't want shadow. So that's a quick way to just like reinforce the head. You got the rim lights, okay? And the rim lights have a certain value because if you remove those layers in saturation, it becomes white and also like a little bit like too intense, not thin enough. Also, we have our layers of like shadow and AO just to introduce more contrast. So we're going to pretty much use this same recipe here. So we have a layer of... All right. Let's take like one angle to test. Let's test it with this one. So shadow, AO, both of them we want in multiply at 30%. That's what we figured out with the other file. So there we go. That's with and without. Now we have the rim lights. Rim lights, we're going to want to have them in, I think it's light add. Yeah, linear dodge add. Linear dodge add, but you see it's like too intense. We need to make them a little bit more like narrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab these from the other file. All right, so this is a saturation layer. Oops, property. So you see it kind of like just colorizes with a color a little bit. And this one is the level. So I clamp the levels here, and the white is just for the intensity of the rim light. I'm just going to keep it to the same value as the other one, just for consistency's sake. Then you introduce the other rim light. You apply the same modifiers on it. Same clamping here. And then the strength with this ramp here. And this one is blue, colorize. There we go. And also on top of everything, we're gonna put our mask. So this is the mask, right? We're gonna copy it, select all, copy, introduce a mask in the folder. There we go. Now we can delete this one. So this just means that any background behind is going to show if we have a background. I actually don't have a background, so it's kind of like moot to add the mask, but whatever. Those hard surface renders make my tablet shake. Watch out. All right, so we're gonna add a layer in opacity. Before I start to draw in it, I'm actually just gonna copy it in every instance, in every render, because I know I'm gonna need to do this for every one of them. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna select like a brush that's pretty soft. Oh, wait, my shortcuts are not working. Okay, so now I can lighten parts that are maybe not lit enough. And I think that the arms are a little bit too dark, so we're gonna put some overlay on them. You can even do the opposite if you feel that something's too visible, but it's not the case. So before and after, just focus a little bit more. So that's good. Perfect. All right. So now rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So what I can do is I can actually just like grab like a shit ton of them. Pretty much all of the multiply layers I can just stack. So all of the ones that I know are going to be in multiply. One shot, boom, multiply 30. Then all the rim lights. Linear dodge add. There we go. So now we know that we're all on the same value. Now I can copy everything for all of the rim lights. Well, all of the rim light from the left, and then I'm going to do all of the rim light from the right. Oop. They forgot to... They didn't follow the hierarchy. Okay. Good. That's done. Now let's slap all the masks. One last one. All right. So I got this one. Now we're going to do the overlay. So once again, focus on the face. Anything else that's too much in the shade. Next group. So sometimes if there's like too much shadow, you might actually have the difficulty to lighten it up. I suggest to try maybe a soft light layer instead. Let's see, there we go. Soft light works well. If like you got too much shadow, it's going to like overlay really like makes things more like exponentially light. But if your value is too low in some areas, some of it's going to become super bright. Some is going to become not bright enough. It's going to augment the contrast and it's going to look a bit weird. So soft light sometimes is better to just make everything equally more lit, but it's not like making things pop, and that's the drawback. Sometimes you want things to pop. The leg here is a bit dark as well. Maybe I'm going to do with a soft light. Yep, that's good. All right. This one's going to need a soft light as well. So that like the back is not too much in the shade. No, let's keep them a little bit in the shade anyway. So no need to focus on the head on this one. You can even add masks to rim lights if like the rim lights are a little bit like too strong in the shadow area, in the shade area. There we go. And one's also a soft light layer we want. Looks good. Okay, that's good. Thanks so much for continuing the stream and share your knowledge. Your work has been a huge inspiration for me. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Truly. Skander Sculpt looking great so far. Thank you. Yataman +1. Well, thanks. Thanks, everyone. That's really appreciated. All right. So those are our modified renders. Oh, this one's a bit lit on the face, eh? Did I like overdo it with the... Yeah, I overdid it a bit. Yeah. Jeez. Okay, yeah. So looking at them from close as well is a good idea. Sometimes something can look a bit wrong when it's like too close. Okay, this one, the rim light on the right is a bit too intense, I find. There we go. Is there other rim lights that look a bit weird? Yeah, I think that for this one, maybe the one of the rim lights is like a bit too strong. Maybe it's because of the amount of detail. It has more detail than the Mantis, so Okay, that's good. So let's save this. And we have now the effects to add on top. So the effects are only levels, I think. There's also like a shadow thing to make the feet darker. So let's just slap this over. Yeah. Now this, I just have to make sure it's placed correctly. All right, there we go. Can I ask a question, your advice on something? Yeah, absolutely. Especially in a slow stream like this. Huh? Save again, and only the frames are going to be needed now. And the frames, like I said, are a really annoying thing to do. Also, like this is like an old method, so I would not really use this method. I think I'd rather like now do like a shot with a camera that's the right size, because this one introduces a lot of like different dimensions for images. But basically what I try to do is I try to make images with this technique is I try to do images in 6x9, in 4x5, 16x9 and 4x5. And like technically, like for example, like for the frame number 4, we're at frame 4 right now. Okay, I'm going to try to do like a square image, which is going to be the full character. Try to do like a zoom at 16x9 and try to do like a I think we call it American portrait when it stops at the knee of like 45. That's basically what I want to do. And inside of these frames, there's always the same things. It's like the logo, this like frame delimiter, so that I can crop it when I'm done. Some shadow at the bottom, and a vignette. So for every image, I'm going to play around with that. Let's just take the question first. I'm a 3D artist based in Montreal, currently trying to break into the industry. I've been finding it challenging to land a junior position. I even after I applied for stylized 3D character artists at Chaos Mason, which I'd be thrilled to be part of. I'd really appreciate any advice, especially on how to stand out and grow as a junior artist with limited professional experience. Thank you for everything. Share with the community. That's a pretty hard question to answer, I would say. I think that first of all, it's normal to have a hard time to get a job as a junior character artist. I mean, especially now. But even back in the day, it was like known as something difficult. And the idea is that you just have to keep putting stuff in your portfolio and just like make it like have like as much variety as you can, but at the same time you need to show like a specialty, because like often people will get you for a specialty. It's just that like your specialty is more like it doesn't cast a wide net, basically. That's what I mean. So you basically need to have, like, I like to say you need to have like 70% specialty and a 30% of like, hey, look, I can also do like all of this other stuff, right? But thing is that you must be able to do them well, right? You like having like a piece in your portfolio that's not really good sometimes can be like a not good a publicity for you. So you need to check on that for sure. make yourself undeniable. And I think that yeah, I think it's the specialty is just to make sure you do what you like, but also that you stand out from the crowd, and the rest you still need to show that you can do everything else, right? You need to have strong foundations in anatomy. You need to be able to show that because it's a foundation of our craft. I mean, a lot of like outfits. That's a lot of like what is getting outsourced. Characters always have outfits and stuff. Be able to show like sci-fi and medieval. You're casting a wider net when you do that. That sort of stuff. I don't really have like a magic trick, but that would be my suggestion. Plus, like you have to show that you're able to do nice cloth work, nice anatomy. I find that often people like get good at everything else but those, and it shows in the fundamentals of your craft. So just make sure those are you've nailed them down basically. No problem. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is simply just going to test something here. If I crop this image, what's the resolution? It's stupid. 5:1 by. All right, there we go. All right, so that's good. So you see, we're gonna do like square images for the full size. This way it's gonna allow for like any width of the stingers. Right, for the 4x5. Oh wait, we're gonna change the names before we do anything. Ah, fuck's happening? Oh, there you go. The double text was just in case the text goes over the character. There's like a little trick I did there so that the text can be seen in both of them. All right, so now let's figure out. Let's figure out the composition we want. What about Spider D3R? Too many letters. I like to keep it to less than that, but it's a good idea. How many portfolio pieces would the industry consider a good number to show understanding of skills and fundamentals, would you say, for character or environment or props work? Yeah, it's true that like if I see one good character, sometimes I'm like, okay, can they repeat that? Sometimes with one character, fear of like the artist being slow can be something. So and if you have like a lot of character, it kind of shows that like your experience with your craft, and you can probably go at a good speed. So I'd say that like with okay, let me put myself in. I click on a portfolio and it opens an art station, and I look at the stuff, and I'm like, I think like eight starts to be like a good number. Okay, I think that's going to be it. There we go. Okay, let's get a good one. You see that's this one's already pretty good with like where it goes and gets like the arms and stuff. That's a pretty good shot, I find. Let's see if we can make it a little bit better. Let's focus on the head. That's cool. All right. All right, so this is an example of how I would do. And now I'm just gonna save this image. So you see like render 2, these are the frames for the render 2, but I need to do the frames for all of the images. So this can be a little bit time consuming at this point. And once that you want to render them out, what you do, you just open them. So you select the mask of this, like the mask here, crop it, save it. So spider Z2 in 16:9. Then you do undo. Select the mask, crop, save. We're going to replace the 169 by 45. Let's crop this. This one we're going to save it as full, even if it's like technically just 1 by 1. There we go. So those are our 3 images created. Ta-da! And then you can batch compress them into like a smaller format for web and that sort of stuff. But that's pretty much it. Make sure to undo and to not save, because when you crop, you can lose stuff, right? Technically, I don't really need to save because I've saved before, but anyways. But that's pretty much it for the ZBrush renders. Now on to the Keyshot ones. It's going to be a little bit more of the same, but and off screen I'll just do all of the frames. It's just going to be boring if I just do that. All right, so for this one here, we have a question too. Would you ever consider doing a stream where community submits their portfolio and you would review and give advice tips? Yeah, I thought of that actually, and the problem is it's just that I just don't have the time. There's like I already need to take care of my company, and I got those streams and I got this, and so maybe at some point I can replace my streams with this kind of stuff. I could do that. So this is something I could consider for sure. We'll see. But yeah, I know it would be pretty good. Good as in useful for people. Okay, so for this one, yeah, we're gonna open once again another reference. There we go. Is there is there a number of characters that you recommend? Could you tell what you focus on each of one? Like Yatatman said, yeah, like 8 characters starting to be good for like a portfolio. And as I said, 70% specialty, 30% like variety, I'd say. Something like that. You can even do like 50-50 in that sense. All right, so this one's gonna have a few things. There's thing about like the glowing of the eyes and stuff. Actually, you know what? I should have opened the wasp. Because the wasp has those lasers as well. Oh, like those stingers here. That's done in Photoshop. Okay, so let's first of all remove the frame. So as before, there's a layer of just like bunch of effects, and to be able to place them correctly, I got this little trick here where I just take a I just fill my image with one color like that, and it has to be really like a fill color. Don't use like this like the I don't know how to call it, a solid color fill from this. I really just like fill the color with, of the entire canvas. The idea is like you want it to actually like move like this, right? Have like the outer thing. So we know that this square is like the size of the frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the square and the effects at the same time. Actually, I'm going to do that. And also the background color, sorry. Going to grab everything and slap it on top. And now the idea is that I can just like move the frame until I know that I'm like perfectly aligned. Boom, there we go. And it will confirm on the other side that I'm perfectly aligned too. Um, 8887 by 5000. Oh, there's like a 1 pixel difference. That's dumb. I'm actually gonna fix that now. We're gonna, oh wait. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do first. Close this. We're gonna open our all of the PSDs. No. Wait, I'm going a bit too fast right now. Let's chill for a sec. Okay. Let's look at this one here. What does it have? It has the clown mask in case we need to use it. Okay, we have the adjustment layers, the fix, which have the glow. We got a kind of like a texture layer that just adds a bit of texture to it. Okay, we have like a layer that fixes maybe some grain issue. Let's spot. Spotlight on the floor. Some overblend. I wonder if I did that on the Mantis too. I'm gonna go and check. Hey there, I just showed up. I hope you're doing well. What is your preferred renderer? These days it's Unreal, I'd say. It's just a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'm really into rendering in real time these days. Otherwise, like Arnold is pretty good, I find. Stefan, hello. Hi. You know, you can also right-click, duplicate, and choose your other PS tab. It'll export all your layers right in the middle of the canvas. You choose. You know, you can also right-click, duplicate, and choose your other PS tab. Sorry, I'm not sure to follow. All right. So did I do everything for this one as well? So those are fixes like the glows, the this, that, texture on top of the thing, spotlights. Oh yeah, okay, there's an overblend also. Which I pretty much just used on the background, okay. Right, and some lights that were distracting from the composition, I removed them. Okay, all right. And in the effects, there was a bunch of shit right there. Yeah, the blurred image, just to add like fake GI, global illumination, a bit of bloom, the lights. And the flares. Yeah, okay, so they're all there. Okay, this time I won't close this window though. All right, one by one. I don't even think I'm going to be using the mask, but whatever. Okay, so basically all the other thing I rendered, because I always render with all the passes, but it's not always useful. So you got my main render and the clown render. That's pretty much the only thing I'm gonna need. So let's grab him. Oops, no. I want to get them in the Explorer. There we go. Why is the resolution so little? Why is the resolution so small for the masks? It's not supposed to be small like that. It has the same resolution. Is it because it didn't render in 300 dpi? That's stupid. Whatever, I don't even think we're going to be using the mask, so it's unfortunate. But yeah, I think for some reason maybe they didn't render in and 300 DPI, you know? Okay. Anyways, okay, all right. So now back to the thing I was doing. So we're going to bring it to 5,000 here. And okay, we're going to grab all of this effects also. We're going to bring it over here. Yeah, there's so much layers that like Photoshop has a hard time to figure out what's boom, there we go. Has a hard time like figuring out where to place it now. Okay, so we're flush on it, perfect. So there's a bunch of like useless layers here, but we're gonna go through them. So that was, okay, we have 5 renders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna create a frame folder for these that I took out of a folder. Okay, so our fix layer takes care of a bunch of things like levels, color balance. There's an added noise also. That helps with polarization. There's also like a gradient to the image. Okay, so this is all what's in the fixed layer. The background is just the background as it is, right? So you see, when you have the character like this, all of those lights in the background are pretty distracting for the arm. So I will probably want to remove these lights. That's pretty much the idea here. So we're gonna actually go and fix those layers like for the wasp. So the first layer, like I said, to remove the lights. So let's go and do the same thing for our spider. Actually, I'll copy all of the okay, so shadow fix also has like feet in it. Let's just remove everything. There we go. Also, I add a little bit of like shadow under the feet now. It's a bit so the overblend, I think it's just to bring some light in areas of the character that are light. It doesn't work if there's not a lot of like color information, but let's say that there's like something in the background that's a bit lit. Well, there could be like the glow where the light hits harder on the character. Doesn't really do much for this right now though. Sometimes it's to brighten the background if it's like dark background on dark. But yeah, it's gonna be fine. No need for that. And then the spotlight at the bottom. This will be able to reuse all the time, basically. Okay. Then there is a bunch of layers that I just slap. Okay, my Photoshop's having a hard time. Okay, I think we're gonna close. I'll reopen it. Kind of like it brings a lot of darkness to the. There's the texture. This one's fine, but I'm not sure that I like this one. I don't think we're gonna keep it. Okay, and there was a layer on top just to blur some areas in case there was gradients, sampling that I didn't like. But honestly, I think that this is just like wasting time. Yeah, because if I just look quickly like I can see some sometimes, but it's like, ugh, like oof, fucking cares. There we go. So I think I'm not even gonna entertain this. Okay. But the way I do it normally is I just like create a duplicate of this exact image, I blur it, and then I use a mask to actually, I'll just show it. So, so at least I've done it once. So you duplicate the actual render. I'm gonna go in filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Just blur it like ever so slightly. Like this. And you add a mask, completely black. There we go. And then you can just like use like a white mask in some areas that maybe there's like pixelization and that sort of stuff. But it's like a trade-off, right? Because like you're blurring things a little bit, but still, especially if you grab like the edge of something. But when there's like places that are like really pixelated for some reason, yeah, it kind of helps. It's just I don't know. It's not super useful. Anyways, I put it there. I'm gonna remove it. So what's next? All right, now the FX layer. Well, there's the as for the ZBrush layers, there is a layer of all right. I'll remove fix effects for the moment. So yeah, there's like a layer in case like anything is like covered in darkness or you want to pop in more, you can just add some white color. And if something's too lit, you can also try to I'll also add the oh, my color code, by the way, normally it's like greens for like it needs hand paint. Oh, yeah, that's decent. And for the effects now. So the effects, yeah. There's going to be the lens flare from the eyes. Oh, there's also this like, yeah, there's this blend layer that I add sometimes to create the global the fake global illumination. I just call it blend. And what I do is yeah, okay. You just color pick like something from the background, like a color from the background. And you just draw it over the image. It's a bit too intense, but I'm going to lower the strain of it after. And it just like it adds kind of like some colors from the background on the character. Now on this background doesn't really like on this image doesn't do much because there's not much color to transfer from the background. But for example, if there was like a blue sky behind it, it would add like a tint of blue in your character. And I find it like kind of like helps for like atmospheric effects in a sense. Anyways, now the bloom. So for the bloom, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab everything that we have right now. We're gonna copy it. We're gonna slap it on top. Oh wait, I need to remove my top layers. Like this effect layer here. There we go. And I put this layer in smart, convert to smart object. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy layer style, paste layer style. What? Convert. I thought I was able to copy all of the smart filters by copying the layer style. I don't know. Okay, never mind. We're gonna do it one by one. So there's a level. We're gonna start with the bottom. So there's this level layer we're gonna put. To kind of like isolate what the parts that are like really bright. And there's a Gaussian blur at 11. There we go. And then there's another level. And we clamp it to almost the center. Okay, and then this entire layer is in linear add at 15%. That's kind of like our bloom. And I create a mask and I remove it where I don't want it. Like the background's like, doesn't need it. It's been intense on the chest. Huh? On the head, it just like blurs. When there's already a lot of light, sometimes it just like it just blend everything together too much. And then I use, it's kind of like the same idea as the blend here. I think it makes the blend a little bit irrelevant. But what I do is I take a pic, once again, remove the effects. So this is just a copy of the entire image that I will blur. At 133. Blur Gaussian 133. Okay. And I apply this filter at like 5% only over everything. And this is like where like it creates that like fake GI, because it just takes like image, like colors around the color, and it just blends everything together. Yeah. And it kind of like averages stuff. Yeah. Like I said, kind of like a fake GI. Global elimination. Okay. So we're just missing the lights. There's the flare. So those are the blades. And there's the flares. And there's a layer on top, which is like the dust that's going to be around the flares. Ah, well, the dust is for around the blades here. Okay, all right. So the eyes, they have like a glow. I'm just going to remove the flares for a second. So these are my values for the glowing of the eyes. And what I do, I'll just delete everything. I'll just pre-select the eyes. Then I'll do a selection by okay. And then I slap some white right there. There we go. There was a little excess of information around some of the eyes. It doesn't really do much. But anyways, so now we have our glowing eyes. And I just have to add the flares. The flares are individual images for each this is just like a little dot that I stretched. And then I put a bigger dot and motion blurred it differently. So I just put it over like enough lights. 2 is probably going to be enough. I'm not going to put one for every eyes, just like these 2. It's already cool. Let's test like a third one. It could be cool. I'll keep it like that. Now for the stingers. The stingers, I won't be able to use the same like values as the other one, because you see, like the stingers were already white and I just had to add the glow around them. But these stingers, they also need to have inside, they need to be white. So I could try. Let's try it out. Okay, so I think I just need to it's like by adding the black color. Yeah, you see. So what I need is I just need to mask these parts and put some black texture on it. So once again, we're gonna, well, it's the only red that's this bright, so I think I'm just going to, there you go. So like from mask, oh, there's a little bit here that I can get rid of. All right, at this value, that's good. And now, there we go. All right, so this is for the stinger glow. And now we're gonna need to add another one. We're gonna add a layer of white. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find like maybe like some like inner glow. Let's make it like blue so we really see it. Center. Oh, wait. I need to make this black as well. There we go. There we go. So since it's black, or wait. Yeah, and I put it in screen mode. There we go. So the black won't show well, because it's in screen mode, but I can add a glow inside that is not in screen mode. Okay. I think it's fine. I think it's good. And the last thing I do is I add the dust around the stingers. So this is basically just like there's dust everywhere on this layer, and I just mask in white. See, it just makes the dust appear, which is a dust that's in screen mode at 45%. I can even put it like on the lights here. Oh, there's already some. Okay, so there's like a orange-ish color. There's orange-y color in the stingers. I'm gonna maybe put it more on the pink side than the orange side. Yeah, there we go. I'm just putting them on the other side of the red. So instead of being like a warmer red, it's a colder red. There we go. Cool. There we go. Ta-da! I think we're done with that, right? All right. So let's save this file. Sorry, I haven't checked the chat. I was kind of like in a flow. I'm just gonna make sure I'm done with the Oh no, wait, there's like something else. There's also a merge of the image. Do I do something after I've merged the image though? What's the difference between the merge and unmerged image? Well, I don't apply any transformation. That merge image is a bit useless. It just makes sometimes manipulation faster when you merge your image rather than like when it's going to be time to save. I can just like create just the merge images. I don't save the file, right? I just create the merge images. I delete all of the layers that won't need to be compressed, and it just makes the saving faster for the images. Yeah. That's all it's used for. So there's the frames now. The frames, I already have them in my file, so whoop, no need for that. So once again, we're going to choose the frames for it. All right, so I think we're going to go for I'm going to go 16 by 9 for the full frame. All right, so that's our frame for the full frame. I think we're gonna go like we're gonna do a bit of the same thing as our ZBrush render. The only problem with this method is that I don't have my lines of thirds to calculate. Yep, okay. That's good. I'll say that. Okay, there we go. And that's our frames. So, all of that, rinse and repeat. Oh, maybe there's one thing here I just saw. You cannot remove like a blasted area in the renders, but you can put it a little bit darker so it's just a... Yeah. There's some like highlights when it hit the character, it hit too hard, so adding like a little bit of like soft light to it helps. And as I said, I always found that the feet were like too much lit. Okay. Okay, and I'll save this because we're pretty much donezo with that part. Yeah. Okay, cool. Got artists. Like I had no problem. I just showed all this stuff with the plain color layer to be sure to place a bunch of layer properly on the canvas. By right clicking on your selected layer and pressing duplicate layer, a menu appears and you can transfer those selected layer on another tab project. It'll copy paste right in the center of this project. Okay, but what if things are not centered? Duplicate layer, duplicate in document. Okay, Interesting. I see. I'll try it later, but that's interesting. I did not know that Duplicate had the contextual menu, and pretty useful. Thanks for the tip. Did you build the background environment, or is it still from Image HDR? Yeah, as Stefan is saying, it's Image HDR from, I think it's from the packages of Keyshot. I didn't create like a custom background. I just used what I thought was appropriate. All right, so you know what all of that, what that means? That means that we are done with the spider. Huh? Is that intense? We're finally at the end. On my side, I'll do all the frames for the other shots and compile them in the same way. But that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. So now you all, you know, all my dark secrets and shit. Let me tell you, it feels freaking good to be at the end. To be at the end of this this project, and to be able to start on the new one. So yep, super happy about that. Super happy about that. I hope it was good. I hope you guys had a good time. As I said, I'm going to be taking a bit of time off. Not that I just already took 2 weeks, but I just need to figure out how I'm gonna handle doing the streams for the next times. I already talked about it a little bit, some ideas that I had, but I need to think a little bit more about it. And yeah, at some point, I'll start again. We'll see how I'm going to handle it. Anyways, that's it. That's it. I don't know what to say more other than that is it. Thanks for everyone that came here. I think some people were like here since the very beginning of that character. Thanks for holding on. Thanks for the new people that arrived later in the process. Everything can be seen on YouTube. Everything's uploaded and stuff. The entire playlist will be there. And yeah, that's it. That's it. No fanfare, no anything. It's just it. The black hole will take us all. All right, well, everyone, thanks for joining in once again. We'll see how things go, and I hope that I'm going to be able to see you in a near future. We'll see about that. So thanks for being here, all right? And everyone, take care of yourselves.